All right, felons, snitches, and thieves. Welcome to episode 2 of Akeem The Don podcast. Today we are also going to talk random shit. There is no true subject on this. I would like you guys to still just kind of get to know us a little bit, see our humor, understand what's going on with the Akeem Don podcast. So we're going to be talking about mischief shit we did when we were younger. Right. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We even got TikTok from my ghetto bitches.
Jury duty. So that's I think I saw a few opportunity where we can watch. I, for some reason, always never have to go to it. Like, I'll get that I have to do it, and then they get that letter or thing where I call where I say, we have enough people or something like that.
Yeah. So you're excused.
I know you have. Have you done jury duty?
I did. I got the same thing you got once.
Okay.
I had moved to a different county. I think all my life I had moved so rapidly that I just never got the mail or whatever. And when I was living in Pemberton, I got one in Pemberton, but I was already here. And, I responded, and they were like, you're good.
I want a case. I think that's why I don't get one is because I want one badly.
Yeah.
It's like I want to see how it, works. I know how it works, but I want to see in person, a case that I don't know that I'm not going to type in on YouTube.
I was a
Something
juror
scandalous.
on a murder trial.
You were a juror on a murder trial.
He was.
It was interesting. It was a 2-week trial combined with everything. The trial was a week and then a week of deliberations, and ultimately they had to do a new trial because we couldn't come to an agreement. We just were stuck at 11-1. We all were in favor of finding them guilty, but there was one holdout and she was not budging at all. But it was frustrating, those deliberations, and I've always been a quiet, timid kind of guy, and I kind of exploded on this lady after a while because the way she was talking to other people and stuff, I just went off on her, and people came up to me afterwards and thanked me and stuff, and we all went out to dinner afterwards, and we followed the case after, and then again another jury had the case and they couldn't reach an agreement, so I think eventually it was just a mistrial from what I know, but it was intense. It was only 2 weeks, which wasn't long. And it was intense. The actual trial was really fucking boring though. Sitting through, just listening to all the testimony and stuff. I caught myself almost falling asleep a few times, which I was but then I didn't feel bad because the judge looked like he was falling asleep. But it was just it's so boring. It's not like TV where it's exciting, just the good parts. It's just hours of just
no grandstanding,
and they're reading these full documents, and it's so fucking boring. And the deliberations were exciting at first, but then after a while, it was kind of just frustrating, But yeah, it was interesting. It was definitely an experience. I'm happy that I had.
You watch the lawyers run out of steam in their arguments eventually, and fucking. Well, he had an Aaron Sorkin moment in the jurors.
Yeah,
it was an O.J. Simpson case or something like that, where it was just not boring.
Where you're sequestered and shit.
Yeah, or a heist or something, or. The worst cases are always good to me too. They're entertaining as hell.
God,
people lie to seem like an asshole.
This makes me want to go to court now that I think about it. You said you were bored through most of it. That's funny because a friend, I think I would find it all fascinating. This chick I knew, she once said I would be entertained at an insurance seminar. I think the most boring things are fascinating. I just like to watch. I'm just what's happening? You know what I mean? My brain's just on, and I'm probably making more of it than what it is, But I would love to just sit there in court and just watch the whole thing go down and just be okay.
There's an audience for it. Trust me.
You know what it was too? A lot of it was just reading long statements from witnesses who then recant it and change their testimony. But basically, they were telling us that their previous testimony, even though they recant it, you can still believe this. This is still circumstantial evidence or whatever. So that's why I think after a while, just listening to all this testimony and then having the witness come up and then say, "Oh no, I didn't say that," or "I take that back," then it's that's there was no exciting evidence reveals or anything, and that's why I guess I was waiting for that in a way. So just listening to all these written statements that just the lawyer was rereading for the record, I was like, "What the fuck?"
You know what an interesting case might be to look at would be the game ratings. I wish I was there to look at that when we first got PG-13 rated M for Mature and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That would have been interesting to watch because that was in Mortal Kombat when Mortal Kombat first came out. Actually, that's when we first got ratings in video games, and that was really cool. I was really young. I think Mortal Kombat came out around like 94, 95.
Yeah, that was probably kind of
maybe. And I was born in 91, so I was young. But if there was cases that I could see that I know I wouldn't find boring, it would be that case. It would be the O.J. Simpson case.
I know it was a long time ago, but the Charles Manson case.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, I'm trying to see what's going on with Scarlett Johansson suing Marvel.
Oh my God, that's interesting because this is going to set a precedent for actors, and you know what I mean. It's going to set a precedent whichever way it goes. So
my thing is like, who cares? Like, I know she should fight for her. Like,
she made
money.
she made a good amount of money off that movie too.
I have no idea what's a good amount of money. I just know that
Well, no, let me not say that because I don't know in terms of how other people are paid. I guess that's not a fair thing to say. She was entitled to more money based on theatrical returns,
right?
And obviously because of premiering on Disney Plus at the same time and stuff. But basically, the studio is saying like, look, this is during a pandemic. We're trying to keep people safe. That's why we're doing this. So like kind of like, how dare she? But at the same time, she's like, but I've been entitled to this.
Is she valuable? That's nothing. Is she a valuable asset to Marvel? Is Black Widow an important enough character for the lawsuit? Do we care if they said, all right, fine, we're going to take Scarlett Johansson out of the Marvel movies? Who would honestly care?
I would.
You would?
I care about Scarlett Johansson.
Are you? All right, so is it the reason why I think it is?
Yes. She makes my pee-pee go boing.
Okay. So straight men would care. So we have that. That's a good percentage.
I like her. You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying. But but this was her chance, her solo movie, her chance to make some coin. You know what I mean? So that's why I guess she was frustrated. She was supposed to get more money, but because of it premiering on Disney Plus, there obviously wasn't as many people in the theaters. But also the pandemic's still going on. So it's I don't know how the courts are going to rule. I don't know what precedent is going to be set, but I guess in a way, like, I can understand both sides, but, who knows?
I'm just like, well, then cut her out, you know what I mean?
Because this was probably her
the
last
assets aren't
big
doing
movie,
anything for me. They're doing something for the Don, but she's not offering me much.
In the Prestige, she wears this, like, push-up kind of bustier thing, and you want to talk about anime that makes me sad? I weep. It's so beautiful. She has a little mole on her cheeks. She's just gorgeous.
She's a beautiful woman.
She
in Iron Man 2, she did look.
Who's Black Widow?
Right.
No.
But you're not gonna give it to like Captain Marvel then? I mean, she's voluptuous. Like.
Yeah. Wasn't she Envy Adams in Scott Pilgrim?
Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm totally gonna come or whatever she says. Remember that over the phone? Yes.
That's my favorite movie, by the way. Scott Pilgrim.
Is it? Yeah.
What's her name? Viola. What's it? Viola? What's it?
Viola. Not Davis.
No, Viola Davis. Wait, are we talking about how to get away with murder?
Is that the one? Okay. I just know that name.
But honestly, iconic still. See, I care about her more than this. But what was it? It was Violet. I'm trying to remember her name.
Oh, you're talking about Ramona Flowers?
Ramona Flowers, thank you. If I were a straight boy, my crush would be her, and she still has my heart. That movie is so slept on. It still pisses me off that people don't like that. But, yeah.
That movie, again, a movie that ruined a generation of people.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
I know.
You've had to see me.
No. You've gotten on it since I met you, and we've never watched it together. I've never seen the whole movie. I've seen bits and pieces, but never the whole movie all the way through.
He went
I don't like
for
to
her. Everybody, you know what I mean? He even fought the vegan.
I've heard so many good things about it, and people love it.
Oh, dude! I mean, we can do a whole pod.
I know. I gotta see it. I want to see it.
That and Juno, but everyone's seen Juno.
I love it.
It's good to have the old school dudes that love it, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a thing, and then you have the fresh perspective.
Yeah.
I love watching somebody live tweet a movie that's so old, and they've seen it for the first time, and they start live tweeting it.
You're right. I love that perspective.
It's so fun. It's so like. Yeah, like I watched Lord of the Rings in like 2016 or 17 for the first time, and
do you like it?
Huh?
Do you like it?
I zoned out a little towards I watched all three back to back. I definitely like the first one. I definitely like Dude, Gandalf when he fights Balrog or whoever. Yo, he takes him into the fucking third round, dude. Then he comes the fuck back, and I'm like, whoa, what's up, baby? But yeah, it was all very predictable. I kind of knew what was happening, but it was alright. I never watched the movie because I tried to read the book. I bought the whole tome. This is when I loved reading this, the whole trilogy. I sat on the shitter and I read the first chapter, and I wiped my ass with it. I threw it out. I was done with it. I was just like, it just didn't, it just didn't jive with me. The writing was off. But yeah, the films are, they are impressive. I like them. They're classic.
I can't read. I've never any of the movies I haven't really read. Like even Harry Potter and stuff like that. Not the book. Lord of the Rings. Not the book. Hunger Games. Not the book. And I think it's my patience with chapter books because I'm a comic book reader, and also because I'm a little. Reading is.
It's not your cut. That's not your.
Yeah, it's like like this could take a while. I just want to know what happens. Like I rather live vicariously through other people. When they tell me the story. Like that's how I am. So like you could be right about that book. I would probably wipe my ass with it too.
Yeah, absolutely would.
Like honestly,
that's why manga is great because usually it's published every week, 20 pages, and you can just read the text real quick and find out what happens, and it takes you 2 minutes. It's great. A whole book. See, here's the thing. I read the first book I ever really got into was Dune, right? And I read it when I was 13. I read the entire. There's like 6 main books, and there's a bunch of shit prequels. Well, they're okay, but they don't stand up to the original, And, Dune, not only did I enjoy Dune, but Dune gave me a feeling of, I need to read other books. So I started reading. I literally have hundreds of books under my belt. I've read at least 100 and some change books. Just because I read Dune, and it blew me away, But if you don't have that first book that does that to you, you're never going to read. You just, why would you? I didn't before then. I read magazines. I read a good book, and I was like, all right.
What is a good... You're right. I don't think I've ever had that chapter book that was like, you know what, I'm in this. Like, and this is like, I think that is the problem.
Yep. That's all it is. You find the right book. You find the book that starts you on that journey. You'll love it, I found a book that made me stop reading, too. You should have seen me, dude. I read all the Dune books. I read everything by R.A. Salvatore, like the Dark Elf Saga, right? I read Magic the Gathering. They have a book for every series that comes out. I read all those. Then I got into, like, real shit, where, I read, like, Steve Jobs' biography, that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Just like, let me get off the fiction. Let me get into some shit. I read Les Mis. 1,500 pages, paperback. You want to talk about the feels. Les Mis is the feels every other fucking page. My copy was tear-stained. It was just great, dude. All I did was work and read Les Mis for about a month. I would read it on my way. I'd be on the bus, the subway. I get to work. I'd work, come back, do it all again, and just read as much as I could. It was probably about 3 weeks until I got it done. Best book ever. I followed that up by reading War and Peace. I read the first third of it and just dropped it. I needed a French to English dictionary to read most of it because inexplicably a Russian author, his works translated into English, heavily relies on a lot of French for some reason. So I have a French to English, figuring this out, and I'm taking notes, and I'm realizing this is how people learn other languages, is that you just translate a book, and it's a very effective way to do it. I get up to around page 600 or so, I'm done. It took me 100 pages to connect with one character. So I was like, oh, that's an awesome scene. There is 2 cool scenes in War and Peace. And then when they came out with a mini-series, I was like, oh, thank God, now I get to figure out what the fuck actually happens. And there's a little Hulu mini-series. I was like, oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
But yeah. Is it worth a watch?
It's a decent little... Okay. There's probably a lot better stuff to watch, but...
Because you were saying the book made you,
The book has this one great scene where... It's about Napoleon trying to take over the world.
Okay.
And that's what the time it takes place in. And it's from the place of, like, Russian royalty. Those are the main characters. There's a scene where there's three like generals, like these cool. I see it in anime in my head. You know, these three dudes. One's wearing a white coat. One's wearing a red coat. One's wearing a blue coat, like the colors of France, right? And Napoleon tells them to take this bridge. And the move was, as Napoleon's army is advancing, they're blowing bridges up. When they see the second they see the army, they blow the bridge up to stop them, right? So Napoleon's like, I need that bridge. Keep that bridge and get that for me. These three dudes walk across the bridge waving a white flag. And they're up against the Prussians. These are the people who are, you know what I mean, holding that territory.
Yeah.
And they say, we've come to negotiate terms of surrender. And they're kind of blocking the dudes' view and just, you know what I mean? They make the one soldier shut up, you know what I mean? Out of it's like almost a comedy scene. And then by the time the people at the guard post notice what's happening, Napoleon's army is crossing the bridge and they can't do shit about it.
Mm.
Yeah, and these three dudes are like, we just did this because, you know, our emperor taught us to take this bridge. And in my head, I see it like an anime scene, and it's funny.
Well, the coats, that's what I was thinking too,
Yeah.
and along, and like the wind making it kind of like flow a little bit, and they're all very stiff. In my head, that's just what I was getting from your narration.
And that's all it is. It's that, there's 100 pages in, there's a scene where Prince Andre, he looks up at the sky, and he's like, why am I here fighting war? This is the last fucking thing I want to be doing. As he's getting captured, there's people, you know what I mean?
Is Anastasia in this? Just because you said Russian royalty.
I believe there's a fucking Anastasia. I could be wrong. But there's Andre. The main other character is this dude who's really cool. He's a young party animal. At some point, him and his boys tie a policeman to a bear. They get so fucking hammered, you know what I mean? That's his backstory. He reaches a point in his life where he's had enough fun. He's just, you know what I mean? He wants to do good, and he ends up joining the Masons. And he has this whole arc of like, I was an asshole as a kid. Now I'm going to do good for people. And you kind of see most of the story through his perspective afterwards. So it's got cool things, and you know, eventually they beat the French. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. Like that's how it happened in history. But yeah, God, talk about a fucking snooze fest, dude.
You had me at the polar bear though, because that sounds very Russian. Well, you said bear, not
bear.
Yeah. I just saw like, is it polar bears in Russia?
I don't think so.
Oh, just regular beers in Russia.
Kodiaks.
Okay.
Brown. But yeah, it is this. I started, dude. I swear to God, it's the last book I really seriously read. I kept up on some of the Dune books afterwards and all that, but now I just read articles and just rot my brain out.
Question.
Yeah.
If you had to title, what would the title of your book be if you had a book? If it was based on your life, and you're not going to just the title.
Based on my life?
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say in 3 words, just the title. Curious. And you too, Karen, after.
0 to 30 in 8 seconds. The life and times of Sean Donnelly. Okay. I'm already writing it. Sorry.
Oh, well, yeah.
I have a fiction too. It's a cool title. It's The Babylonian Architect.
0 to 30
in 8 seconds.
In 8 seconds.
I feel like life happens in gaps of 8 seconds.
Okay.
A lot can happen. You know what I mean? And I was writing it around the time I started writing it around the time I turned 30.
Nice.
So
you got a book coming. How about you, Karen?
I'm not working on anything at the moment, but
just
if I
at
could
this second, just to let it word vomit.
think off the top of my head.
Yeah, my bad. I really cast a long shadow there.
I know, like, damn it.
I'll tell you the name of it.
Sorry.
No,
Since you asked.
Took that moment to plug my upcoming shit.
If you can, it's okay.
Do you have an idea first?
For me, I'm going to do word vomit. Mine's is going to be word vomit. My book is going to be...
I like word vomit.
But is it really worth it? And that would be the name of my book.
Is it
It would
really
just be,
worth it?
yeah. And it's just like, is it really worth it? And I'm not going to go into any detail. I'm just going to ask you guys, is it really worth it? And you tell me what you think about that. You
God,
know?
that's really fucking impactful.
Right? Was it really worth it? Is it really worth it?
I like that a lot.
Yeah. The way I hear that and I interpret that is all the bullshit you do in life and running around and being a jackass. Stop to consider if what you're doing is worth it or not.
Exactly what was coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And usually it's like, are you doing it to impress people or feed your own ego, or is it actually an important thing?
Literally.
And that's what you call maturity.
Life is so short. Time is so important.
Yeah,
Was all this extra shit worth it?
It's the only currency.
Did it bring you happiness?
Yeah.
Simple
Happy.
shit. Mm-hmm.
It's profound as fuck.
It really is.
Oh, thanks, guys. I thought it was pretty simple.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
mine would just be actually if I guess I would just use this at the moment. I have an idea for a movie that I want to work on, but the working title of that, and it kind of isn't exactly autobiographical, but I guess it's like semi-autobiographical. But the working title of that short film, which then could in turn become a book, is called it's kind of corny, but this little light of mine.
This little life of mine.
Light.
Okay.
Light.
I knew little was going to be in the title.
She's
I don't know if it's because you're shorter than the rest of us. I'm like,
I think that's something.
I'm like little man. I don't know. That's what I got. This is what popped in my head.
Okay.
It's fucked up.
But basically, just briefly, without going much into it, the essential story is like, someone like myself, like, approaching 30 and kind of like reflecting on life and, different perspectives and stuff, and then looking at, thinking back on childhood and stuff, and then seeing that through like a younger person in the family, like say like a nephew, for instance, and just thinking about life in a different way, and just thinking back to when you were a kid, and just thinking about how like when you're a kid, like, there's so much like there's so much like happiness. You have like this like light inside of you, and like throughout your life, so many I feel like so many people like try to like put that light out, like burn it out, and then essentially like by the time like you reach 30, like you feel like you're just like burnt out, and it's just like you want that burning sensation again that a kid has. Like you want to just go out and catch lightning bugs and like fucking live for it and just enjoy the fuck out of it. And yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of where
CBD people.
Is that quarter life crisis?
Yeah.
At 30.
I gotta tell you, I don't think life even starts until you're 30.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because you hit it, and then the frontal lobes of your brain and other areas don't really, they're not fully grown until mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
And then you get a chance to just look back on your whole life, and you know what I mean. You look at it through a new lens.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, well, I'm here, and I was a dumbass for the last 20-something years, but now I have a little something going on, and then you realize, oh, the prison of lacking a knowledge or just lacking something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hit 30 and you realize you can do or be anything you want, right? And just we all grew up with an East Coast mentality around East Coast type people. You know how that is. People just shit on you in your dreams. You know what I mean?
Completely shit on you.
Yeah, and then you actually get away from it long enough and you snap out of it and you realize, but dude, this is my life. This is the sum of the rest of what I can do. I'm going to do my thing. I don't care who says I look crazy. I don't care what they say, blah, blah, blah. I still got to play my fucking hand.
Do it my way,
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, you just have to. You got to say, hey, I'm here right now. I have roughly X amount of time left. I got to write the blueprint of that shit. I can't follow these other jackasses.
13 going on 30.
Especially
literally the
when you see where these
description
people-
of that movie.
Yeah.
Like in a good movie. I mean, this would have been the like trucker straight boy version of it, but like still, in a sense, basically, you don't have the knowledge when you're a kid, and when you hit 30, you realize everything can be a bit robotic. You literally can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Ah, shit. No mind.
And we need to stop letting people shit on their dreams also. That's so weird, like a thing that we get used to. People telling us, maybe you shouldn't do this because this didn't work out for me, or your father didn't. That's not really, it's just like, I didn't ask you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got the perfect line for that every time. I got it. I got it figured out. Don't worry about it. I resort to that shit. I'm like, it's none of your business. You know what I mean? Like, let me go about my shit. It's, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it sounds shitty, but like, yeah, I keep, a lot of my ideas and plans and my shit, I just click close to the vest. You know what I mean? Unless I'm talking to like y'all that like get it. You know?
Yeah.
If it's someone that's like, hey, I got an idea. You know, it's like, you know, with older people. You know what I mean? Your parents and other people. It's like you always think, here's the elders. They know what's up. You know what I mean? They got some gems to drop, right? And then you realize, wait, I'm the young person here. Like I understand the world better.
Mm-hmm.
They understand the world of 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
We're shabby to the world today, so therefore you gotta trust your own judgment on some of this shit. You know? Yeah, it really is. The only regret is that it takes so long to get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Imagine if you knew it younger.
Yeah. Once you just kind of wipe your hands of the regret and say, okay, I got to figure it out, I'm going to move forward, it's a great feeling. Because, like, you know, it's like, all right, now I can do what I feel like doing.
Just focus on that, you know.
Yeah.
Forward.
My back might hurt, but now I have this information. You know,
Yeah.
like, I might be in debt, but I have this information. You know. Sorry to take it there, guys.
Nah, but no, youth is wasted on the young. You know? That's why I like if I ever had a kid, the first thing I'd do is I just get them right on board, right where I'm at. I'm like, this is a race to getting your brain where mine is roughly at as soon as possible, and then even better. And then now you're good. Now you know how to live life, and you're still gonna bump into shit, but it's like you got the perspective. You're not. You know what I mean? You know what the fuck you're doing.
Never gonna fall over for those bumps as much, and it's gonna be less rocky, definitely.
Just to have that knowledge, like early on, you know, that we didn't have. You know, it's just
because our parents like to keep stuff from us.
Yeah. Imagine
whole control.
My bad. Imagine like, I mean, the fact that parents won't tell you where kids come from before a certain age blows my mind.
Ridiculous.
There used to be this kid, I guess he was like 10 or 11. He was in our Xbox party. We used to play Apex Legends together.
Okay.
And so we'd be in the Xbox party. There'd be like 4, 5, 6 of us, all grown-ass men. But we'd bring him in if we needed a guy, right? And I swear, he would fuck with us because he knew shit and he was just playing funny, right? And he asked where the kids come from. And I'm like, Jaden, I'll tell you where they come from right now. And I just go about explaining, and then like some other asshole on my level of asshole is like, kid, you got to jump out of this party right now. Stop listening. Like he played the adult. He's like, no, you can't hear this right now. And I'm like, kid, here's, for those of us who are unaware, our listeners, there might be a few of them, a man has a penis, a woman has a vagina.
Pretty simple.
He inserts himself inside her. He comes. Some other technical shit happens. And that's why you're here.
Literally.
And why can't you tell that to a kid? Why can't you just say, kid, here's, you know, if I had a kid and he asked me that, I'd be like, yeah, here's where you can't, I fucked your mom, dude. Like,
it's not as like crazy as like people try to think they think that means that all kids are going to go out fucking now. And that doesn't mean that because I didn't.
It's crazy because you held it for so long and made it crazy. If a kid just, you know, walks in the first grade and he's just like, yeah, I know where kids come from. People fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, miss
Mommy and Daddy got it on.
And
I'm here.
They had us like, what the fuck?
So let's play toys and games and video games.
Yeah.
Moving on. You know, that's how it would be. But no, it's so secret. You make it seem like a secret and like you can't know. Now the kid's like, ooh.
They're trying to like protect us from something. And a lot of parents from our parents from that age group, from that generation, started having sex early and had kids early. It's kind of like they want to protect us from like, I don't know, in a way, but it's like, we're going to find out sooner or later. It's like, you know, why not learn from you? Did anyone else hear, like, my mom, she had this ridiculous, stupid, magic fucking belly button story. When we asked where kids came from, she said that the doctor would push her belly button and then when we would come out. And we believed that shit.
That's wild. The doctor would do it.
The doctor would push the button, but nothing about fucking or anything. Just that she would go in, we would just appear in her fucking stomach, and the doctor would just go boop and press her belly button, and we would come out.
My favorite is the stork, the little bird.
Yeah.
Oh, the bird. Yeah, that.
I said, dug out my child.
I feel like they hit me with the stork story early on, and I wasn't figuring it out.
I was like, what?
Backflips to the voice telling us a simple thing, literally.
Yeah. It really is devious because you're like, because then you don't, you know, like Santa's so stupid.
Oh my god.
I was 7 years old. I swear, I remember being at the top of the stairs, like, I'm gonna see this motherfucker. Like, I played Solid Snake in my own home as a kid at like 1 in the morning. Like, what the fuck? I kept peeking down, looking. You know what I mean? I'm like, My mom was wrapping presents. I didn't see evidence either way.
That's
Yeah.
a perfect reference, though.
Yeah, I just, you know what I mean?
I've been there. Yeah, that feeling.
And I'm just like, that's what you're doing to me. You got me, instead of just saying, hey, man, we're going to, like, put me up on the knowledge. Let me walk into school like, yo, doofuses, here's what it really is. Like, knowledge is such a fucking tool and a weapon. You know, just, that's why I'm like, why wouldn't you just see a kid and just be like, dude, you're going to be going to Harvard when you're 8. Because I'm going to just shove your fucking head with knowledge. Why wouldn't you just do that to a kid? Why wouldn't you give them the best thing you could have? You know,
Because the kid is also going to enjoy Christmas regardless. My thing is, I'm going to enjoy the toys and the Christmas and everything regardless. I don't need this live Santa.
Yeah.
I like Easter egg. I don't need this live Easter bunny. I don't need this, like, you know, it's like this extra you doing backflips. I don't need this live the Tooth Fairy. Literally. And that's just creepy, one.
Yeah,
Also,
I know.
like,
who is this bitch flying in my window at night?
trying to
taking
take my teeth for money, thieving, scamming. No thanks.
dude, if you're my kid, every fucking day is Christmas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm waking you up. What's up, man? You want cheesesteak? Make some eggs.
Right.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
for real though, like
Boom, you go to school, right? You're out of my hair for a minute. I get ready. I do what I got to do. Kid comes back. What's up, man? What'd you learn? Oh, that's cool. Let me teach. Like, your education doesn't end. Now you got me up in your ear talking shit. I help you with the homework. Yo, this is easy shit. Let me show you how it's done. And you just speed them up and you just give them, like, you know, you have kids in these accelerated programs where they skip grades and do this shit.
yeah.
It's not that those kids are special. They just got paid attention. You know what I mean? Just
Exactly. Literally.
you just became the kid's teacher when he got home and said, "Hey, let me show you how it's done. Let me get these breakthroughs through." You know what I mean? Like, let me, like, you know, it's so weird that parents are just like, "Yeah, the school's got it. Yeah, I'll help you with the homework, I guess." You know, and I think that's mostly how people grow up.
Yeah.
Not that you wouldn't be like, "Dude, here's fucking Shakespeare. Here's all this shit." You know what I mean? Like, here's wherever you're at. Let me give you a little something tougher. Let's just every day. Let's keep doing it, and then you're gonna be. You know, there are kids in college. There are
multiple
10 years
different
olds.
ways of learning how to solve a different problem. Well, there's this way that the school is teaching you, but there's also this way and this way. The more you know, the more you can manipulate it, make it easier for yourself. It's just everything is a one-way with school, where they want everything to be one way and learn it one, where it's just like, it's not, I don't think it's that good. Kids can't evolve. And that's why you're right. Like, other kids are in these, like, elite classes and different stuff because people are teaching them more than just what everyone, the general. The general, which is the norm, which is the basic.
All those,
Let 'em-
my bad.
No, you're good.
All those kids in the advanced classes, that's just regular classes in China. That's just the norm.
Oh yeah.
We treat it like, oh my God, look at me, smart. Nah, Chinese dudes are like, that's all of us. What are you talking about? There is no advanced classes here. We're all, you know, if you're dumb, you're in the hallway. You know? Yeah, I just don't get it, man. You know, when I was in 5th or 6th grade, I swear this is still burned into my memory. I used the word cavern. Right? It's like a cave, but it's underwater.
Yeah.
And this teacher at Cornell was like, "That's not a word." And I'm like, "Yeah, cavern's a word. It's a stage in Goldeneye. Okay, you can go." You know what I'm saying? And she's like, "Nah, I don't think you're right." I'm like, "Look it up in the dictionary." And at that point, I realized, oh, most people are dopes. These adults, I swear, you know what I mean? No respect for authority anymore. You don't know one word? I got a problem.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, man.
And if you would have not had looked it up, like, you probably could have believed that the adult was right and would have been like, "Oh, I am wrong. This is not a word." Just because adults are always right.
Word for it, just because they're older than
You're
us,
older than
you
me,
know?
so you automatically know more.
Yeah.
Yeah, she almost, just by saying it's not, she almost had me thinking that's not a word.
Yeah.
You know, like, just that whole, okay, that's the danger of trusting a person.
Yeah. No, you're right.
The
it
danger
is.
of trusting the person. Yep.
Yeah, it just had me out here all fucked up. Like,
You got the questioning yourself, like thinking, like, wait, maybe it's not. You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
oh, you hate that? Where you're like, nah, I know what I know. Like, I Googled it. I did the research.
right?
Why we don't trust our trust falls? You know what I mean? Do you? Do you really trust
And a
them?
lot of
Would
adults,
you-
especially like authority figures and teachers, they hate being wrong, especially when like a student, like, you know what I mean? Like they hate that feeling. Like,
I mean, because
you
it
know?
is embarrassing. Like you should have just shut up.
It, is,
and,
but
like,
it says a lot more about
complain,
like our society and the way and what kids should be taught more beneficial shit in school to get them ready for life than a lot of stuff that they are taught. Like so much shit we were taught in school, like none of that shit's useful. Like most of it. I'm not saying none of it, but a lot of it. Kids should be taught more things. About like I don't know, financing their money or
Yeah, I
like,
wish I
more
was
beneficial
taught about
things.
that, like financing my money.
Then like is algebra, is that helping me at all right now? Like no. And I loved math in high school and college, but then I realized it's not really helping me at all.
Algebra made me cry. Like once like letters start getting involved with
geometry, I hated. I was
y'all
sucked at
have me
geometry.
screwed up. Like I've never gotten higher. I won't lie. I was good in other grades. Other classes I was good at. Math was never something I was good at. I never got anything higher than a C, and I was actually in math enrichment classes. But seemed to be very smart. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but
Math was never my strong suit either. I literally tracked down a friend of mine. He tutored me in math way after school for no reason. I said, dude, I don't understand this whole I want to be able to find out a fraction of a number, a percentage, that kind of deal. And then basically all I remember from that is I can take those values and just multiply and divide them. You know what I mean? Like if I have the number 158 and I got the number 42, right? If I multiply, I think I divide one by the other, I forget which one it is, I will find a decimal place that'll act as the percentage. Like I just know I can do that, and I still don't remember how to. I had to fiddle with it every time I do it.
okay.
But I just know I can do it, and I'm just like, that's all I need. That's all. That was all I was missing. Fucking thank you. You know what I mean? But yeah, obviously for me, I like more English and history.
I was about to say, you seem like a history buff.
I love history.
Just from talking to you, have conversations with them, your history.
I feel like, you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, this is a big fancification of it, but I feel like the three-eyed raven. But I can throw hands and shit too. Like I'm the fucking man. But because I feel like and this bugs me. A friend of mine said I don't know enough about history, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I know too much about history,
Right?
but I just in my head I just see the length and breadth of the 500,000 years we've been here. You know what I mean? Just from what I know, just from what I imagine. I think of a map of the world and I watch we all start from Africa and then everything fucking splits off. You know what I mean? Like it all kind of just plays in my head. You know what I mean? I know human history, and it's interesting to me. It's
really interesting.
I don't know. I love world history. I love the broad strokes. It's like almost anthropology. You know what I mean? I like I don't like the Irish settlers of 1838 and the potato. It's like, it's like, dude, we're not going to drill that. We're not going to drill down that deep on every fucking people in every area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I once had a big book. It was just all the world events. It's huge. It was like this by like this. And you open it, and every fucking year it tells you what was happening everywhere.
Shit.
Just the major points.
Points. Damn. I would like to see it.
It's the most boring fucking book ever. It's literally a reference.
No, I know.
I thought it would be interesting. I was like,
But after a while,
I'm like, dude, I had the Platohedron in my fucking hands. I got the fucking all the world knowledge. I open it up and it's so fucking boring.
Right? You're like, what the fuck is this?
Like, no way I can
excited
read.
just now. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I would look up what happened in 1990, like my birth year, like all the shit.
Oh, yeah,
that went
yeah.
down.
And that's cool, but like as you're going, you're just, I love the early shit. I love imagining what happened with cavemen, right?
Oh, yeah.
I love, as soon as you get to Egypt, I'm like, cool, that's all written history, and we understand that. And you can have your own little perspective on it and shit. But like, I like the idea of like, man, where do we start? I like the idea of that we got whittled down to about 30 people, and then we fucking spread back out, after like an ice age.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like incest is illegal, right? Like animals, they can all fuck each other's brothers and sisters and shit, and it's fun. Like they won't be inbred as much because there's such a diversification. There's a lot of migration between animals, right?
Yeah.
The fact with humans, what happened was we got whittled down to damn near nothing, right? And so we had Adam and Eve is almost a true story, right? Like we got whittled down to roughly 20 to 30 people, and then from there we had to rebuild the population.
Yeah.
So there's already so much inbreeding in us. You know what I mean? Like there's, then you got the whole Genghis Khan thing. Fucking like 10% of the world's related to him. 50% of Europeans are related to Charles the Great. That kind of shit. So like we're already inbred. So
that's already enough.
Yeah. So like that's why that's a major thing. That's why it's like law in states.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about that. Two consenting adults. Not that I'm going to bat for it, but two consenting adults did done. It's illegal. You can't do it because it's so detrimental to our genetics.
Yeah.
Right.
And the group is, you can't say that some people don't be coming out like not messed up or like that, but like, odd. Not odd,
People be coming out messed up.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take that. Yeah. I'll be that guy for the pod. I'll be the dude that's like, yeah, it's true.
Because it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a reason. It's a science. This is not good. You shouldn't do it.
There's just people that don't realize that certain deformities that's how evolution happens. You ever try to explain evolution to someone who just believes the Earth is 6,000 years old? It's the most hilarious thing because it's like, hey, if we came from monkeys, why are there still monkeys, right? It's because you had all the monkeys, 2 of them fucked, made a weird monkey, the rest of them moved on. And we're the weird monkey. Just like...
Yeah.
If you just stop and think about it, yeah. And then today, there's kids with like, it's sad, but they were born with like a cleft palate, lip, or whatever. All these accidents in genetics, that when one of them sticks, that's how you get a new thing.
Yeah.
And if it happened to be advantageous, it just propagates. Mm-hmm. That's all.
And on that note, don't fuck your cousin. Oh. Guys, you can follow us at Akeem Don Pod on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. From our Ratchet Bitches TikTok, thank you for giving us a listen on episode 2. I know this was, again, a more everywhere episode, but we're trying to just get comfortable, get you comfortable, let you know who we are, get to know each other, hold hands, and all that other stuff. It's been a pleasure. We will see you on episode 3, hopefully next week. Thanks for giving us a listen. And remember, guys, don't take offense to what we're saying. We're just trying to have a good time and play around and like have some fun. Don't take anything seriously. Love and light, boobs. Bye.